All right, y'all. Today we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business. Gonna see for its local search and for its city search if it is they got BSS, yes or no for either or both of them. So we're here in the GBC universe, taking declining boudoir photographers to the number one boudoir photographer in their city. Our North Star, as always, is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More about that, pinned post, whatever, home post. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So if we're rising, we're probably getting a mix of all different intent people, high intent people, mid intent people, low intent people. If we're falling, we're missing some group somewhere. Now, here we're focusing on BSS way on the left. We're focused on the highest intent people, people searching for boudoir photo shoot, social search, searching on social media, like literally typing in, searching, and Google search as well. And way over on the right, we got our other brand talking about BLCS. That other brand is Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, where Facebook ads to the lowest intent people, but there's the largest amount of them. Right now with that, we're only working with boudoir photographers spending more than 10 grand a month on boudoir Facebook ads. But we're here for BSS. So boudoir search sameness is when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. 0 slots on page 1 means we're on page 2 or deeper. We're basically dead already, kind of out of the gate at that point, because we already know approximately 80% of Google searches never go to page 2. So we want to get the bulk of the market here, the 80%, approximately 80%. That's the bulk. We want to be in front of them by being on page 1 on Google. But even 1 slot is not enough, because 1 slot, if every other boudoir photographer has 1 slot, that means there's us and 9 other boudoir photographers on there. We aren't looking anything amazing because we only show up once, same as everyone else. So buyers are just going to click down the list, open everyone in a new tab, contact everyone, get price quotes, just because it's easier to click that than to click the next page button. And we already know approximately 80% of people never go to page 2. Now we also have a kind of our own GBC minimum where we want to hit 3 out of 10 on page 1. More on that later. Now 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google is not normal. Extremely common, but it's not normal to have that few number of page 1 Google slots. That means there's deeper root causes at play. It's actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. Those 2 deeper root causes are market saturation, which basically everyone knows about, and the false belief of page 1 equality, which basically nobody knows about. So market saturation, that's when someone gets a new iPhone, they're throwing out their Google My Business profile, throwing out their website saying they now do boudoir photo shoots, or they get a new camera and they're posting them on Facebook groups saying they now shoot boudoir. And also during COVID, people losing their jobs, can't work, became boudoir photographers as well. It's kind of a anomaly. Causing market saturation, which caused a big glut of boudoir photographers to enter the market because people gotta earn money. Now, kind of the most dangerous one though is the false belief of page 1 equality. So the false belief of page 1 equality is what I have seen as the number 1 killer of boudoir photography businesses, far and above anything else. And it's basically page 1 equality, which never had a name before, but people just kind of auto accepted it, where it's like, oh yeah, I got 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google, and there's some market saturation. All right, it pushed me by 1 slot. Now, I'm on page 2, and hopefully they turn their website off so I can maybe go back onto page 1, but page 2, okay. Just these things happen, and blah blah blah. It's like it's normal to be kicked off page 1, go to page 2, and it's normal to not have as many first page links on Google as we want that we can take whenever we want. And because people believe this page 1 equality, or more likely they accept it without even knowing it exists, they do not try to solve it because they don't know this false barrier, this false box that they believe is real, or they don't even see that they're in a box. is actually not real at all, and they can solve it, and they don't have to believe in it because it's not real anyways. And I know it's not real because I myself went from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 of Google in 10 days. So we'll see more about that in a little bit. But this false belief of page 1 equality is kind of, I lose my page 1 slots on Google. It is what it is. The number one killer I've seen of boudoir photography businesses. We also know that a boudoir photographer with BSS, boudoir search sameness, is a disappearing boudoir photographer. So we got our universe building here on the right. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. Number one killer I've seen of boudoir photography businesses. But we now know that BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S cubed methodology. It's a proprietary methodology that we developed, and I'll be showing you the results we got for ourselves using it. And this is the only solution I have ever seen that can successfully outcompete and render market saturation as a non-issue. And I feel it's better than ads, Google or Facebook ads, because there's no momentum associated with them. With those, you stop spending, they stop showing. With this S-cubed methodology has its own momentum where it continues on. So it has momentum. Not infinite momentum, but it has its own momentum. And it's the only thing I've seen that allows us to take as many page 1 slots on Google as we want, rendering market saturation effectively kind of a non-issue. And kind of thinking of it this way, if we, if we're in Boise, Idaho, and there's over, we're a boudoir photographer, and there's 999,999 other boudoir photographers. So a million boudoir photographers in the market. Everyone's got their own website to try to, and trying to rank page 1 on Google. But if we crank S-cubed methodology like up to the max, and let's say on all social search, we're ranked, the first 300 slots for the highest intent keyword for people looking for a boudoir photo shoot in our city. And that flows to Google, so we're ranked the first 300 slots on Google as well. They'll flow back to us in our social profiles or our website. Then we actually, if anyone's searching for a boudoir photo shoot in our city, they're basically unable to even find any competitors because they ain't scrolling to slot 301. I mean, there's 10 organic slots per Google page. If we're occupying 300, they got to go to page 31 to basically see any of our competitors with Google organic search. So if they can't find any of our competitors, how are they going to buy from them? So even if there are a million, but 999,999 competitors in our boudoir, our city competing against us, if we dominate where the highest intent people are searching, our business will go along fine. Now, once true with S-cubed methodology, we have page 1 visibility. We also get a secondary bonus of kicking competing boudoir photographers off page 1, effectively making them invisible. So again, we know that once we go to page 2, or a competing boudoir photographer goes to page 2, approximately 80% or approximately 20% will go there. 80% will never even see them because approximately 80% of Google searches stay on page 1. So it's kind of a extra bonus of ranking more slots page 1 on Google. Now, page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. So we're no longer 0-1 slots. G slots is, that's okay. Here we recommend GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 slots. Page 1 on Google, because 1 slot now, well, 0 slots now, 1 slot now, we look the same as everyone else. 2 slots, we still kind of look the same as everyone else, but also there's a chance someone else has 2 slots. But if we got 3 slots or more, we're definitely out competing the people with 1 slot because they only see their name once. People with 2 slots, that's kind of rare. So, but we'll also be out competing them. But with 3 slots, you're gonna be like, man, kind of subconsciously, why does Google recommend these people so much? They must be good. Subconscious. It's all there. We also know that boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer. So, got our full micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by market saturation, the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. That's fine. We now have the solution S cubed methodology. We achieve page one visibility. We become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. Also, for those that want to dominate, we'll keep going. 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 slots. We'll just keep building that momentum. So now my results doing this, I wanted to rank, basically I want to dominate the keyword BLCS boudoir. So I employed S-cubed methodology and go down to organic. So Instagram, organic slot 1, me. Or slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So I got 9 out of 10 slots, page 1, organic, Google. Went from 0 out of 10 to 9 out of 10 in 10 days. And so anyone searching for this keyword, who are they coming to? Who are they going to click on? Obviously me, the dude with 9 out of 10 slots, page 1 on Google. So this is a super great result using S-cubed methodology. All right, now to our main event here, we're going to check this boudoir photography business, see if it has BSS, see if they're hitting the GBC recommended minimum. 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search for local Washington, D.C. Well, technically that's city, and then region. All right, so the DMV, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. All right, so region should actually be way more competitive than what we've normally seen. All right, let's go to D.C. All right, so let's see what we got. All right, we got 0 out of 10 here for city search. Let's go to DMV area. All right, so we got 0 out of 10 for both. So we got BSS for both the city search and the regional search, and we got we're not hitting the recommended GBC yet. GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 Google search for either of these searches as well. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer and you've done a local search for yourself, high intent keyword, as a buyer, saying you got BSS there, or you've done it at the city search, you may have BSS there, or you've seen for either of those, you're not meeting the GBC recommended of 3 out of 10 slots on page 1. And you're seeing the S-cubed methodology is finally your one way to solve that. Then you're also taking into account the false belief of page 1 inequality. Yeah, it's false. That Google wants to give us as many page 1 slots as we want to take and want to put in the effort to acquire. So S-cubed methodology is the path forward. And you understand market saturation, the 2 prongs, people getting new iPhones, people getting new cameras. And you like the initial benefits of S-cubed methodology, get more slots on page 1, and also kicking competitors off page 1, so you're on page 2 where you're basically never going to be price shopped against them. And you're liking all that. And with regards to market saturation, you're looking at, you've seen AI, it's going to be taking more and more people's jobs. And as that happens, you know more and more boudoir photographers are actually going to come flooding into the market. And as more and more boudoir photographers flood into the market, they're actually going to, increase the supply. And as we increase the supply of boudoir photographers, going to be, harder to compete, page 1, lowering the, basically more supply, lower demand of page 1. And As a result, you realize you got a kind of 4 to 5 page one against a new feature, big rush of boudoir photographers. So as you're doing that, well, you're seeing, okay, executed methodology is the only thing available to do that as well. And so you're liking all that. And you're also understanding that when we do executed methodology, we're actually kind of building kind of these invisible thematic keyword columns. And as we build these invisible thematic keyword columns, what's happening is they're kind of like, columns of the Parthenon in Athens, Greece, or kind of like, hub and spoke kind of spokes attached, to our business hub. And what actually happens is we're increasing the mind share of the back end, the kind of the AI mind share. And every day we successfully do, we're going to higher and higher probability that we're going to rank here in the AI overview on Google. And we're also increasing the probability that we get recommended AI search as well. So this AI overview is really a, basically a kind of a premium placement. But AI search, dude, AI search is awesome as well because more and more people are using AI search every single day. And so this kind of invisible momentum building up in the background, and you recognize, man, this will also help you build a brand approximately 8x faster. Kind of all these benefits combined, kind of we're just showing up way more in everyone over time. And you're recognizing that it's better to, you decided you want to be a first mover on this because if you actually hop into this with your, and you exclude all your competitors from using this, because my plan is to only work with this with one boudoir photographer in a city, then what actually happens is you're building up all this initial benefits and future benefits of making massive strides, massive progress against your competitors, kind of putting a big gap between you and them. As you put a big gap between you and them, it becomes harder and harder for them to ever catch up. And conversely, if someone else, some other competitor in your city came with you first, or came with me first, and we're able to build a massive gap on you, get all those initial benefits, what actually happens is you'd have to rederive execute methodology on your own. You would not know if you've successfully rederived it 100% correctly or not. So then you'd actually have to go and run execute methodology on your own and match our output to then kind of maintain the gap between your competitor and you. And you would have to, you'd actually have to then actually exceed our output to kind of catch us and close that gap. So you decide, screw that. You'd rather be you decide you're going to be the first mover and not have to deal with kind of someone overtaking your spots. So if that's you, shoot me a DM. Hospital is currently closed for new patients, but when we do open slots for new patients in the future, yeah, shoot a DM and we'll see if you qualify to utilize our S-cubed methodology.